Batangas is no stranger to sun chasers and weekend warriors, with spots like Nasugbu, Calatagan, and San Juan drawing crowds year-round. But just beyond the city, floating in the middle of the Verde Island Passage, is the raw and stunning Isla Verde. What's up, beach sisters? This is Hannah. For more than a decade, our team, together with the Poor Traveler, has been exploring the Philippines to list out the best that the country has to offer. Located right between Luzon and Mindoro, Verde Island, or Isla Verde, sits in the middle of Verde Island Passage. According to a study by the Smithsonian Institute, the Verde Island Passage has the highest concentration of marine shorefish in the entire world. That's why it's called the center of marine biodiversity. Sounds crazy, but it's the truth. So if you're heading here, don't even think about skipping snorkeling or diving. The underwater views are amazing. And for the beach bums like us, the beaches will surely make you want to stay on the island much longer. No gatekeeping here, keep watching because we're sharing all the little details on how to get to Verde Island, what to do, where to stay, and everything you need to plan that perfect island escape. Isla Verde is raw and often overlooked, and if you're looking for an island destination with crystal clear waters and beautiful fair sand that's a bit under the radar, we'll tell you exactly how to get there. First, you need to make your way to Tabangao Port in Batangas City, which is the jump-off point to the island. Note that this is different from Batangas Port. If you're driving from Manila, you can use your trusted navigation app to find your way. Just enter Tabangao Port as your destination. We'll put the link of the exact pin on Google Maps in the description, but for reference, you can take this route to get there. If you're going to Tabangao Port from Manila by private car, take the South Luzon Expressway or SLEX until you reach the Calabarzon Expressway or Star Tollway. Continue driving along Star Tollway and take the Batangas-Balagtas exit. Make a slight left onto Balagtas flyover and continue driving along President Jose P. Laurel Highway. Turn left on Nebora Road and then turn right onto Gamboa Road. Make your way to Batangas-Tabangao-Lobor Road. Continue driving along Batangas-Tabangao-Lobor Road. You will pass by the Malampaya plant. Turn right when you see General Milling Corporation. Turn left and then drive straight until you reach Tabangao Port. If you're taking public transportation, here's how you can get to the port from Manila. Board a bus to Batangas Grand Terminal. DLTBco and Jamliner have these routes, so just go to the closest bus terminal to you. You can also go to PTEX and ride the bus from there. At the Grand Terminal, ride a jeepney to Bagong Palengke. From there, ride another jeepney going to Tabangao and ask the driver to drop you off at Tabangao Port. Alternatively, you can charter a tricycle from Grand Terminal to take you to Tabangao Port. A tricycle can take up to 3 passengers. Once you get to the port, find a boat that will take you to Verde Island. During our trip, we booked a room at Tropical Friendly Resort and we will talk more about that in the next portion of this video. But we decided to mention them here because they really helped us out in terms of finding transportation to the island. After booking, we were instructed to look for the boat St. Paul once we get to Tabangao Port and to tell the boatman that we are guests of Tropical. From the port, we were guided to a small paddle boat that will take us to the bigger St. Paul boat. Fare is 10 pesos for the paddle boat and 250 pesos for the main boat. Here are some important things to know when going to Verde Island. There's only one public boat schedule per day from Tabangao Port to Verde Island. The boat is scheduled to leave at 9 a.m. but it's best to be there early because the boat may leave as soon as it's full. If you miss this boat, there will be no other public boat going to Verde Island for that day. And if you're bringing a car, make sure to allot more time since looking for a parking spot at the port can be a challenge too. We paid 150 pesos for the overnight parking fee. If you're traveling with a big group, you can opt to rent a private boat to take you to Verde Island. Boat rental costs 7,500 pesos, which is good for 20 people. The schedule can be arranged based on your preference and the availability of the boat. Now, back to the public boat. The boat has multiple stops in Verde Island, including Sampalucan and Mahabang Buhangin. You can ask your host where you should get off. During our trip, we got off at Sampalucan and then rode a motorcycle to our resort. Mariah and I rode on 2 separate motorcycles and paid 50 pesos each. Travel time from Tabangao Port to Verde Island is around 1 hour and 30 minutes. We absolutely support dedicating an overnight stay or even longer at Verde Island, but if you're looking for other Batangas tourist spots to explore in just one day, you can check out this video. Heck, we have a whole playlist on Batangas and nearby Cavite if you're looking for even more ideas. You can find all of these on our channel, and don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell icon so you get notified when we have new videos like this. If you're watching this on Facebook, support us by following this page and sharing this video. Verde Island is composed of 6 barangays, and you will find a few resorts and homestays here. During our trip, we booked a room at Tropical Friendly Resort. They are located in Barangay San Agustin, Canluran, where you can find 2 of the most popular spots on the island, Mahabang Buhangin and Sawang Beach. They have a variety of rooms available depending on the number of guests. We booked their Kubo 1, which can accommodate up to 4 packs for 2,500 pesos per night. It has a seating area with a table, and inside the room is a double-deck bed. Note that all their rooms are fan rooms and they don't have air-conditioned rooms. You can see the rates for their other rooms on your screen. We also paid 100 pesos per head for the environmental fee. If you want to book a room with them, you can reach out to their Facebook page or contact their number on your screen. While it is a resort, Tropical is a no-frills type of accommodation. The Kubo Mariah and I stayed at was a bamboo hut with a double-deck bed with thin mattresses. The bathrooms are shared with a separate toilet and shower area. However, there's no shower per se. Instead, they have a pail and a water dipper or tabo. And speaking of showers, it is important to know that water in the island is limited. While Tropical has running water in their faucets, many residents rely on water pumps. So while in Isla Verde, let's be mindful and conserve water. Other resorts on the island are Verde Island Resort located in Barangay San Agapito and Surface Interval Resort also in Barangay San Agapito. There are also multiple homestays here like Mahabang Buhangin Isla Verde Transient Inn. We haven't tried staying in these accommodations, but you may contact their Facebook pages for inquiries and reservations. If you're also planning to explore Batangas City before or after your island escapade, you might want to book an accommodation in the city proper. We have a list of the top hotels in Batangas City on our website. Make sure to use our promo code PHBeachCloak for additional discounts. And if the code doesn't work, you can always redeem your discount voucher via this link, philippinebeaches.org/cloak. You can also check Agoda and use Agoda TPT for up to 10% off on accommodations. This was our very first stop on Verde Island, and our jaws dropped with how beautiful the view is. As soon as we hopped off the boat and laid eyes on these crystal clear waters, we couldn't help but say, wow. Located in Sitio Sampalucan, Sawang Beach is one of the most popular spots on the island. It's just a short walk from Tropical Resort, so after a bit of rest and some lunch, we headed back here right away. With our young local guides, Roslyn and Rosemary, we grabbed life vests and snorkeling gear at the resort and made our way to the beach. And it was almost all ours. Just one other group was there swimming and snorkeling when we arrived. You don't even need to go far from the shore for a glimpse of Verde Island's vibrant marine life. We saw plenty of fish and even some sea cucumbers just a few steps in. But our tip, wear aqua shoes when you visit. The shore is lined with rocks and pebbles, so it's best to protect those feet. We had Mahabang Buhangin completely all to ourselves when we visited late in the afternoon. It's located across Tropical but all the way on the other side of the island, so the walk was longer and quite tiring, but it was worth it. This long stretch of sand is neither fine nor white, but its clear blue waters and view of the surrounding mountains more than make up for it. The beach is filled with corals, seashells, and pebbles, and it was really breathtaking. We honestly fell in love, and it was so beautiful that we kept wishing we were staying on the island longer. We also spotted a variety of fish here, making the underwater view even more colorful. But again, a reminder to be careful when swimming. Make sure to wear a life vest if you don't know how to swim, or make sure to stay close to the shore. And don't forget your aqua shoes. As much as we wanted to stay in Mahabang Buhangin for the rest of the afternoon, Roslyn told us about this sunset spot back in Sawang, a rocky area with a lone tree that supposedly has a magnificent view of the sunset. And since Mariah and I are total suckers for a good sunset, seriously, who isn't? We knew we couldn't miss it. By the time we made our way back, the tide had already gone down, so we were able to walk right up to this spot where the tree is. We snapped a few photos by the tree, then climbed up on these huge rocks nearby. We stayed there, sitting on top of the big rocks, taking photos and just taking it all in as the sky lit up in warm golden hues. It was peaceful, it was stunning, and honestly, it was one of those moments that just makes the whole trip extra special. The underwater scenery may be Verde Island's most prized jewel, but its mountains also have its own beauty. The island cradles Mount Liponpon and Mount Dagit-Dagit, both of which you can climb to get a panoramic view of the island and its surrounding area. Unfortunately, since we only stayed overnight, we weren't able to experience hiking up either of these mountains. More reasons to come back later though. However, if you decide to hike during your visit, make sure to hire a local guide for your climb. Located in Barangay San Andres at the other end of the island from Mahabang Buhangin, Kuweba San Andres marks another beach on Isla Verde. It's called Kuweba or cave because of a cave here formed by giant boulders. And not too far from the beach is the Lighthouse. We also weren't able to visit this part of the island during our trip, so if you will visit this spot, please tag us on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok because we'd love to see it. We are Philippine Beach List on all those platforms. When evening comes, certain areas of the island will be pitch black, which is perfect for stargazing. With such little light pollution, the stars are quite easy to spot. You won't find the type of nightlife that more developed island destinations have here on Verde Island, so not only is it extremely dark, it's also extremely quiet at night, and your only companions will be the stars, the crickets, and the waves crashing against the shore. It honestly makes for a great weekend escape before going back to the hustle and bustle of the city. Now that we've given you a rundown of some things to do on Verde Island, here are some frequently asked questions. Where can we eat on the island? If you're looking for a list of restaurants, well, I can't give you that. When you go to Verde Island, your options are either to cook your meals or have your host cook it for you. Most accommodations offer cooking service or allow guests to use their kitchen for a fee. But first, make sure to drop by the market before hopping on the boat to Isla Verde. While there are stores that sell produce and other food items on the island, it's best to bring your own, especially if you're a big group and if you have a very specific diet. Since this is an island, supplies are limited and everything needs to be ferried from the mainland. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do a market run during our trip because we were in a rush to catch the boat. When we got to our accommodation in Verde Island, Kuya Dieter, the owner of the resort, asked his staff to buy ingredients and cook chicken adobo and rice for us. For our afternoon snacks in between snorkeling, we passed by this store. They have kikiam, fish balls, halo-halo, and balut among other snacks. We bought a few orders of kikiam and fish balls to share and sat there while talking to Ate Maylene about their life on the island. There are other small sari-sari stores around the island, so if you're in need of some extra snacks, you can ask your host for the nearest one. Can you do a day trip to Verde Island? If you're willing to pay for a private boat, you technically can. Otherwise, there are virtually no day trips to Verde Island if you're DIYing a budget trip. And honestly, with all of the things to do on the island, why would you even want to do just a day trip? As we've mentioned, there's only one boat scheduled to ferry passengers from Tabangao Port to Verde Island at 9 a.m. And there's only one boat scheduled to ferry passengers back at 4 a.m. Yes, 4 a.m. This means that if you want to take the public boat to and from the island, you will have to board the boat from Tabangao Port in Batangas City at 9 a.m. and then board the boat from Mahabang Buhangin in Verde Island at 4 a.m. the next day. Our host, Sir Dieter, informed us the night before that he'd wake us up in the morning and then take us to the boat, which departs from Mahabang Buhangin. It was completely dark except for the lights from our phone flashlights and Sir Dieter's flashlight. It took us around 30 minutes to reach Mahabang Buhangin. When we got there, we logged our names for the manifest and paid the boat fee. Then we boarded the boat and waited for it to leave. Is there a parking area in Tabangao Port? Yes, there's a parking area right by the port, but it's extremely limited. We recommend going to the port early not only to secure your seat on the boat, but also because parking is a prized commodity. If you're unable to find parking at the port, some of the houses around the port also offer parking spaces for a fee. We paid 150 pesos for overnight parking. How do we get around the island? During our trip, we rode a motorcycle to get to our resort. We paid 50 pesos each for the ride, and while we were on the island, we just walked to get from one beach to another from our accommodation. The roads here are narrow. Quite literally, no car or even tricycle can pass through. The only mode of transportation are motorcycles or your legs. What else should we bring for a trip? Make sure to bring reef-safe sunscreen and other items to protect you from the sun like a hat and sunglasses. We also suggest bringing aqua shoes that you can wear when swimming or snorkeling. Aside from your necessities, we also recommend bringing a power bank with you to charge your gadgets. Like many resources, power on the island is also limited. It only runs from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Many accommodations rely on generators for power during the day, but it's still best to be sure that you have something to charge your devices because we're pretty sure you'd want to have your cameras ready when you go around the island. If you enjoyed this video, please comment, like, and subscribe, and save our promo codes for discounts. Join us next time as we check another destination off our Philippine beach list.